Yo, welcome back guys to our video tutorial page. My name is Adekunle Abidemi and today we'll be talking about working with objects in ArchiCAD. Most of the objects that you might need to make use of in ArchiCAD are basically found under the objects too. When you double click, it takes you to a dialog box where you, to your left, you can see ArchiCAD library. I'm using ArchiCAD 16. That's why you're seeing ArchiCAD library 16. Now you have this object all here under furnishing. You'll be able to get anything that has to do with appliances, chairs, couches, and so on and so forth. Even decoration too. You'll be able to find it under there. And now if you're trying to add some building structure to your design, like molding, in case you want to do concrete fascia and you want to make use of molding, if you activate the preview option, you will be able to see the 3D view of that particular molding object, and if you need anything under roof construction, you can actually see that too. And if you go under wall extra, you can see Architrave of different types. Then you can see coin, you can see movable wall, that's like to do a collapsible wall inside and into your space that you want to partition and you don't want to make use of a static partition wall. Now today we're going to be starting with landscape object. So what do you do when you want to put some landscape object in your design? This is an already finished building, but I want to put some landscape object like cars, trees, and flowers and some other stuff. So what you do is you go back to the toolbox, you double click on the object, and you basically look for visualization. Then you go to site improvement. Then if it has to do with trees and stuffs like that, you find them under garden. And mind you, there are some of these objects that you might need in ArchiCAD that are not basically available. The better way to do those objects is either you create them using some other tools. Other tools you can use to create object is Morph tool. That's the one I'm putting the icon on to your left. And if you're not very good in creating objects using the Morph tool, you can combine some other modeling tools together to create your object. And if you won't be able to do that because of your time, you can actually go to the download section of Graphisoft's official website and you'll be able to see some objects that might be useful for your scenes. And if that will not work, there are some third-party websites in which you can download free objects from, and there are some that you have to get them by paying. So what we do first, let's try to put trees in our design. So I'll be using this tree fan palm 16. So I'll click on it. The projection will actually be from 0 because the tree is going to is going to be on the assumed ground level, which is from 0. So you click OK. Then you go to your floor plan by pressing F2. So you look for the location of where you want the tree to be. So you drop it. Now you have to click on F3 to go to the 3D window, or you right click and you go to show all in 3D. Now you can see the tree. Actually the tree is floating. So what you do, you click on the tree. That means there's something wrong with our projection from 0. So when you double click on the settings dialog, then it takes you to, you can see the projection from 0 is actually 4600. So you change that to 0. Then you click on OK. Now the tree should be OK now. So if you need more of it, all you need to do is go to F2, click on the tree, then you do Ctrl D, Ctrl. That's, you press Ctrl, then you press D, letter D on the keyboard, then you press Ctrl again. That is to drag a copy. So you click on that, then you can drag, you can drag a copy. I've been able to create 3 copies of the tree. So you go to show all in 3D, you can see what you've done. I might need to bring some of those trees to the front to make my scene more organic. So what I do is I'll bring this to this other side, minding the view that I'm taking. So you go back to show all in 3D again. That's a tree over there. I think the design is becoming more interesting. So what you need to do again, you can also copy this tree to another location that you know that the camera will see it, and it will also be interesting for the view. So go back to show all in 3D. Now this is what we have. Now we actually done with landscape element. And okay, before that we can try to add some shrubs or little flowers to the entrance porch. So what we'll do is we'll go back to F2, go back to your toolbox on object, you look for something like, let's assume that we're going to be making use of this edge element. But okay, let's assume we're going to be making use of this edge element. So what you do is the projection from 0 should be the level from which you want it to start from. Assuming you have a planter there already, then your projection from 0 should be from the level of the planter. The planter I have there is around 300 mm height. So you can go to accessories to increase the number of polygons, but mind you, the more polygons you have, the more complex your scene becomes. Now you can actually decrease the height, give it 600, then you click OK. Let's try to drop it and see what we have. Drop it inside this planter here. So go back to show all in 3D. That's what we have. So what you need to do is try to copy one or more so that the grass can actually show. So you have like 4 of them now. Go back to show all in 3D. Then you can see that, and also you can also change the material applied to it in case you want to make it colored leaf or something. You can change the material here, but I prefer to leave it green. So the next thing I do is copy this one that I've been able to create, then with Ctrl D, Ctrl, I drag them to the location I want them to be. So that is what you have on that. So you can go back to show all in 3D also, and that is what you have. Because of our time, I would love to go to the next object that we want to do with in ArchiCAD today. So the next object we'll be talking about is railings. Let's assume that we want to put some railings at the entrance porch. So you go back to object again. You can go to fences and railing and locate the kind of railing that you want to use. If the ones you're looking for are not actually there, like I said earlier on, you can either download them or create them with the morph tool, which I'll be talking about in the next tutorial, how to create objects using the morph tool. So now we are going to be making use of the ray tube 16 for the entrance porch. So when you click on it, then the projection from 0 should be from 0. Then under parameters, you can see almost all the settings for your railings. So now the height of the railings is at 1000. Let's leave it at the default height first. If you are not okay with what we have, we can change it later. So tube diameter is 50. If you need your tube diameter to be more than that, you can increase it. So let me give it 60. That will increase the tube diameter. Then the number of posts, if you put it 4, it will change the number of posts. But let me just put it at that 3. So you click OK. There are other things you can set, which is the intermediate rail height, and so on. Under 3D representation, if you actually want your railing to be smooth, the object to be smooth when you render, increase the rail end resolution to something like 100. But mind you, do not overuse this slot, as that will increase your rendering time and also slow down your work. So leave the shadow on, and on the material you can change the material to what you want. Let's assume we want to make use of stainless steel, so you change it to stainless steel, then you click on OK. So you drop it where you want it to be. That is the railing over there. So let's rotate it by using Ctrl E. So use Ctrl E to rotate. Okay, go to show all in 3D, move closer to where it is. As you can see, this is not nice enough, so what you need to do is click on the railing. When you click on the railing, go back to the object dialog box, then go back to the railings parameters, then under the general dimension, total vertical displacement, put it at 650, then you click OK. You can see it's coming down. So the next thing you do is you can also decrease that total vertical displacement, or decrease the height of railing. Let's use the total vertical displacement. That is that. So one of the things we can do to bring down this is to decrease the projection from 0. So you can give that -200. Let's see what we have. So this is okay. So once you have that to be perfect, you can go back to your 2D view and mirror this to the other side. How do you mirror to the other side? What you do is Ctrl M, Ctrl, press Ctrl M, Ctrl on your keyboard, Ctrl M, Ctrl, Ctrl M, or you can right click and go to move, then mirror a copy, and you select a mirror line, and we can also copy these two to the other approach side. So you copy by using Ctrl D, Ctrl, so copy to the other side, minding the point it will be. Now we can go to show all in 3D and see what we've done. Now we are done with our railings. So the next thing we're going to talk about is wall extra. Wall extra includes the coins, the Architrave, and some other stuff you might want to put on your drawing to make it look more beautiful. So let's start with the Architrave. Normally this drawing already have an Architrave at the entrance porch here, as you can see on this side. What I will do is I would like to remove it so I can put a new Architrave on it. So I'll delete that one, go to my 2D view so I can show us how to make use of the Architrave. Go to object again. Now go to wall extra. Now this is Architrave. Now you can actually change this Architrave under style to square in case you like this, or if this is the one you like. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'll be making use of the square one. The Architrave width has to do with the width of the Architrave. I will leave it at 120. Then the projection from 0, because it is starting from 450 level, so I'll put it at 450. Now the position of this Architrave is the one that will allow a walkthrough around it. So that means I will have to change this Architrave to the one that will permit someone to walk through it. So you change it to this Architrave 02. Then you deactivate the seal trim. Then you change the frame type to either type 2 or type 3. depending on the one you want to create. I'm making use of type 2. So go to structural dimension. In case you want to increase the jam trim width, the C trim width, or head trim width, depending on what you want to do. Now the height has to do with the wall side you're putting in, but we'll set that one later in 3D view. So click OK and drop your Architrave where you want it. So minding this particular point I'm putting cursor on, that's the point that will lean on the sides of your wall. So put it on this side. As you can see, this is the other wall on this side, and the Architrave is not pointing to this side. So take a dimension line or a line to check what you need to add. That's like 90 plus 85. So you go back to your dimension 1. Then 90 plus 85, that's 175. 175 plus 1000 give you 175 plus 900 give you 1075. So you click OK. Then you can drag this point to this other side of the wall, and that is what you have. Now let's go back to show all in 3D. Now you can see the Architrave here. Looking at this dimension of the wall here, sorry, the arc here, the arc is starting as 3200, so your Architrave should be stopping around 3200. That's it. Now in case this Architrave width is too small for you, you can go back to the object dialog box and double click on that. Then go to structural dimension and change this to, let's say, 100, 100, 100, depending on the dimension you want to make use of. It's still kind of small. Let's change it to 120, 120, 120, and you click OK. I think that is OK. That's for Architrave. Now in case you want to add coins to the wall side of your wall, to the angle of your wall, what you need to do is go back to object again, go back to object tool again, and you double click on object. Then these are coins available, and when you get to this style, you can have double face 1, single face 1, or double face 2, depending on which one you want to use. I love to make use of this double face 2. Then it's starting from, the projection is starting from 450, and the height will be determined by your wall angle. So you click OK and you drop it at the angle. So let's see what we have by going to show all in 3D. That is what you have. So that means, but because we want to use that array to divide this brick line from the other paint material of the wall, that means we have to keep this our coin. We have to keep our coins at the level of the brick so that the dad array can go all over. So what we'll do is we decrease. We are going to decrease this. Let's give it 3150. I think that is okay. So you can copy that to all other wall angles. To copy it to the left side, you do Ctrl M, Ctrl, that's mirror a copy, or you right click on it, You can right click on it, then go to move, then mirror a copy, then you select a mirror line. Let's look for a perfect mirror line. And once you have it, if it's not properly placed, you can actually drag it to the other side it's supposed to be. So go to show all in 3D and see what you've done. That is what we've done on the left side. So copy it to the other side. Because of our time, I will only copy to the rear side on the right hand side. So mirror a copy, go to move and mirror a copy, select a mirror line, drag it to the angle side, then you can have your coins on that other line. That's it here on this line. So let's go back to our 2D view, so we can go to the next one, which is the dado ray that we used to divide the brick line from the paint line of the building. So go to the view, go back to object. So you can actually make use of molding. Then you click on molding straight. You now go to the molding style. I love to make use of base cap 1 for the dado ray. So you go back to preview and positioning. Then your projection from 0 will be where the point at which you want to divide the wall paint. Now the brick line is actually stopping around 3,300 millimeters. So that means our projection from 0 will be 3,300 millimeters. Now you click on OK. Then you can position it anywhere you want. But mind you, we've not finished the setting. Go back to the dialog box, decrease this to something like 100 or 90. Let's make use of 90. Then go back to parameters, settings, then closing on both ends to both. That's going to be giving you an angular connection by the time your molding is meeting at an angle. So drag it to the angle here, stretch it using this last two move node, stretch it to the other side. Then you can go to show all in 3D to see what you've done. That's the dado ray on this side. So you can now use that to replicate others. So your dado ray can go all over the brick line. So you have this, you stretch it backward, making sure that your angle is lapping very well. Drag the angle to each other. Make sure the 45 to the 45 is connected. Drag this to this other side, because this is a passageway, so your dado ray will not pass through. So you rotate on this other line too, and drag this point to this point. So that is how you would do it, and make sure that your dado ray goes all around. Let's mirror a copy on this one. Mirror a copy. Move. Mirror a copy to this other line. Drag the angle side to touch the wall angle. Rotate a copy. Drop it on this line. Then you can select this two. And mirror the copy. Go to move, mirror a copy. Use the right mirror line. Then increase this to this line. Can rotate on this line. Drag this other point to this line. Then you can drag this through. And on this other side, you rotate a copy. You can drag it back to connect together at the angle. Then we can stretch this down to the other side. Now let's see what we've done. So this is what we've done. So far so good. As you can see, you've been able to put your dado ray by dividing the brick line from the other paint line. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is recreational object. And I'll take my time to add cars that we forgot during landscape object. So recreational object, go to object, then you go back to visualization extra, go back to visualization, then you click on garden, you click on park and street. So if you want to put all this in your drawings, like this bench, outside bench to sit down, or you want to put frame vine and so on and so forth, that's where you locate that. And now let's try to put vehicles inside our design. That's actually under part of the landscape. So go back to the 2D view, go back to the 2D view, then you click on your object, you click on your object, then you can select vehicles and you will be able to see vehicles, but the projection should be the projection from the level of the asphalt. So let's put 20 because that's the level of the asphalt. You select the car that you want to make use of. If this is okay by you, click OK, and you can drop it where you actually want the car to park. Then you can move it to the location, go to show all in 3D, and that is what you have. That's the car you have. You can actually get some better cars in some library objects when you download them on internet. Or better still, if you're using a third-party rendering software apart from ArchiCAD, you can decide to leave the cars and some other object out of your building. Then you now add them later in your rendering software. So for the purpose of this tutorial, we've been able to add landscape object, we've been able to add railings, wall extra like coins and Architrave and dado rails, and we've been able to talk about recreational objects, though we didn't put anyone. So I want to say thank you again for staying tuned to our video tutorial page. Thank you.